The Fate of Phandalin. Last session, our heroes, Tiber, Avalak, Osborne, and Morthos, inspired the townsfolk of Phandalin to stand up to the Red Brand bandits, storming the Trezendar Manor basement alongside... Sorry, that's a typo. Good one, DM. Storming the Trezendar Manor basement upon discovering that the bandits' hideout was a cavernous extension of an old storage cellar already within the town. Beneath the crumbling mansion, in the broken rocky halls underneath, our adventurers managed to infiltrate, wearing Red Brand disguises, with their new ally, Osborne, a halfling monk, disguised as a hostage taken prisoner. While incognito, they came across a Nothic, an aberration that communicated telepathically and was able to tell that you were not Red Brands. However, not suffering the burden of loyalty to the other denizens of the cavern, the bandits, this Nothic was mostly interested in making sure it kept its stuff and had plenty of meat to feast upon. Not bound to protect or serve anyone or anything. Through use of an enchantment spell, the Nothic was encouraged to help the travelers go directly to the bandit leader, Glassstaff. In his laboratory, he was slain, looted, and then given to the now loyal Nothic as food. During this time, Morthos of Tyr used his divine gifts to bellow a holy challenge unto the bandits, echoing his threat throughout the underground lair, and barricaded the trapdoor entrance. This gave our adventurers an opportunity to slip out of the hidden forest tunnel and meet up with the townsfolk on their way to clear out the criminals and hopefully find Morthos. It was in the far corner of Trezendar Manor's kitchen and dining area that the last stand of the Red Brands briefly occurred. The folk of Phandalin versus the bandits that had plagued them for nearly 3 months. After a brutal combat against 2 hulking bugbears and 2 bandits, the remaining Red Brands either surrendered or were arrested, with a very lucky few able to escape down towards the forest exit. Sadly, this success was not without sacrifice. Returning to the Stonehill Inn, run by good friend and loyal villager Toblin, Avalak rummaged through the items they had procured during the raid, inspecting his new glass staff, and finding some interesting things within a scroll case. We return to the elf's discovery of a rather ominous letter. So this is now Avalak, alone in his room, going through the scroll case that he had, that had been acquired from Gustav. So you, just to refresh you, Avalak, this is the letter that you read. Lord Albrecht, my spies in Neverwinter tell me that strangers are due to arrive in Phandalin. They could be working for the dwarves. Capture them if you can, kill them if you must, but don't allow them to upset our plans. See that any dwarven maps in their possession are delivered to me with haste. I'm counting on you, Iano. Don't disappoint me. It's signed with the symbol of a black spider. I think now's a good time for your character description.
Right
As
here.
you're pondering your new items and equipment in.
Yeah, so I'm Avalak. At this point, I'm in sort of one of the top sort of private rooms of this inn, and you will see Avalak in his pretty natural sort of state. He is previously drawn up, was enchanted, was a circle, so he's being able to, decipher both scrolls as well as his staff to see what it is. So whatever, Avalak himself is he's about 6'2". He's a quite wizened wizard elf, but you wouldn't tell from his features. They're quite was it a son of both, was it sun elf father and there was a moon elf. The mix of it seems to be quite sort of stern and studious as elves sort of go, whatever. But with many sort of trinkets and elven wizard paraphernalia, sort of been adorned with gems, whatever else, and at this time he's just trying to decipher was it magical runes of scrolls and also reading this letter at the same time.
Cool.
That one.
There you go. we got there. Um, and at this time, um, I believe Siege Tiber, a devout
Indeed.
man of Joaquin, as I believe was making his way towards the elderly farm. Was that correct?
Yes, indeed. So, just quick question. The Lord Silder,
Mm-hmm.
after the aftermath of the battle, is he heading back to the main town, or is he hanging around? What's generally his
He's remained at the manor with Morthos and Darren and.
Hmm. Okay, no problem. Well, actually, if possible, I'd like to hang around there as well.
Yep.
So, to another scene, we enter into the manor, a ruined structure on top of the hill, to the previous picture. We see a man standing by a corner, out of sight, mending to his own wares, trying to keep out of the way of the hustle and bustle of the carnage that took place here near moments ago. The bodies of various red brand bandits and two bugbears, the gore on the walls of this ruined, decrepit building. We see a man adorned in red, torn rags, the same rags that these bandits wore. However, half of them have been torn off as various fragments of this once semi well made robe and clothing is now hanging loosely off him, uncovering patches of red blood. Some of it his, some of it not his. He's a human standing there with a grim expression on his face, native to the Sword Coast, of a human ethnicity, with brown, windswept hair and a slight stubble. However, as he walks about, he keeps an eye out for Lord Hallwinter, seeking to eagerly make conversation with him, debrief, as it were. He clutches in his hand a copper flail, which he has wrapped around his fist. Flail bloodied with blood, with bugbear black blood, as he grimly stares at the carnage around him, unused to such sights, but not fazed by it at all.
Yes. And while you were there, you do hear noises coming from down beneath. Many of the townsfolk have remained to investigate the manor. Many of the young men and many of the adolescent types, the youths, have become excited at this action and are perusing the manor for any more signs of bandits and are trying to eagerly help as best they can and dispense justice.
Don't go too far, I say to one of the little children running around, looking at picking up a sword.
Yes, you see this boy of, probably 14, trying to keep up with his older brothers and, wanting to prove himself. And he looks at you and he puts it back down on the ground and walks back into the hallway and starts to exit the manor.
Stop, pick that up. Take it.
And he looks at you quite nervously and shuts the door.
Not wise to waste good steel, boy. Stick with the others.
He takes it with him, nodding at you, saying, "Thank you, sir." And,
on your way.
And he just runs off, like looking at this, short sword that he's just found on the ground. No doubt his brothers will bully him for it later.
He will defend himself. Yeah.
Character building.
And there's another character you can roll. And you do see now in a slow procession of some shackled bandits led out of this trapdoor.
I eye each one of them.
And they're now being they're all manacled
Hmm.
at the hands, and rope is being used.
Yeah.
There was some chain for half of them, but then there was not enough chain. They weren't expecting to be able to capture so many of these criminals. However, you've seen that this kind of rope work does look quite sturdy and strong.
My hand on my sticky handle of my dagger, still sticky from the blood where I shanked that other guy down below. One hand there, I go walk among the ranks, the column of these captives, occasionally ripping off some of their fragments of the hoods and things like that, making their faces known. No doubt they are huddled over, trying to keep the low, trying to stay out of sight, but I expose them for what they are, filth, scum, and bandits. No doubt they will be hanged on the morrow after a lengthy trial.
At the back, you see now walking up the staircase, 2 by 2. You see Darren and Morthos rise from the trapdoor, holding the back of the rank with swords drawn, and you will see Darren approach the front of the rank and calls out to them, "All of you, hold! Stand aside! Stand here!" And you see Morthos walk up, gives you a nod of his hulking physique, now just dipping ever so gently in your direction, acknowledging you, and staying focused on his task at hand of bringing these bandits out of their hideout. And at this point, I'm going to ask Osborne, where in the world are you?
I am, or I was inside with the fallen bandits and bugbears and the assorted enemies, and I draw my symbol onto each of their bodies, symbol of passing and safe passage. I say a quick prayer to them, and I am now outside the mansion with my back up against one of the walls, meditating on the ground. I am a halfling, not very tall, 3 foot, 4 foot, and I've got very rusty kind of brown hair. Looks very muscly though. Somehow the halfling is short, but he's almost as wide as he is tall, and it looks quite strange to see this box type physique walking around. He's covered in blood, especially his hands. His hands, when he clenches his fist, it almost looks like he's wearing a red glove, but it's not a glove. It's just blood everywhere. He is head down in prayer to his god.
Okay.
I stand nearby, not wishing to interrupt the halfling Osborne, as I notice him doing prayers over the fallen. Strange custom. I am a man of faith myself, but we do not spare words to our goddess on behalf of thieves. They are simply cast into the fire and burned, as all thieves should. However, I await. If there's any point when you stop, Osborne, Isaac, stop praying, I would approach you. But if you continue to pray, then I don't disturb you.
I'll be praying for a good deal of time.
Okay. I just keep an eye out on Master Lord Sildar Hallwinter. Hang around, basically.
It's also at this point now that you hear some orders shout out from Sildar down to the remaining villagers, and you hear like a muffled is like, "All right, that's all for now. We'll take them and come back and clear it out." And I think that you then see the rugged stature of Sildar Hallwinter now arise from the trapdoor, and step forward up through the trapdoor. Him stepping up quite, chin held high. He is a noble. However, he is very much less, not very much of a courtier, more of a man of the world and a man of
Soldier.
a man of fighting expertise, tracking, hunting, and matters of the justice of the world. You see him now arise from the trapdoor with the bandits all in chain gang alongside to one of the walls with Morthos and Darren watching over, and our two young dwarf friends who are, now quite eagerly involved in this process. These two dwarf brothers wielding their picks and hammers. And as soon as Sildar looks up and sees you standing there, he says, Tiber, surprised to see you. I'm surprised you did not seek healing in the town after the wounds you sustained.
I believe Morthos saw to me and
that's right, actually.
cleansed me. He is most...
And he looks over to Morthos, and Morthos just gives a slow nod, and he says, "Well, by the light, thank goodness we have such powerful allies among us." Indeed, and he nods over to Morthos.
Indeed, my lord, we are blessed by the gods. We took regrettable losses, yes, but the length of that chain gang, we have taken many captives. Much blood was saved to this day.
Yeah, and he looks over them all. He looks over them all, and he says, "Yes." He says, "By my authority, you are all under arrest for the crimes you've committed upon these townsfolk, and for whatever else we may find beneath in your lair. You're going to be detained here until further notice." And he just announces that to all of them.
My lord, I can aid you in establishing a stockade where we may temporarily chain these degenerates outside of town.
And he nods and he says, yes, we should do that while we can. He says, I also need to speak to you about this matter of Yano.
Of course, my lord.
It's greatly troubling and explains much of what we've encountered since we've been down here in Phandalin. However, for the time being, he turns to Morthos and Darren. He says, we need to have all of these men escorted and held. We still have a few holding cells beneath the town hall. However, with this many, they would surely be overcrowded. So he pulls one of the dwarves aside and whispers something to this dwarf, and the dwarf nods and quickly says something to his brother dwarf, and then runs off. And he then approaches you, speaking
follow them as they leave. Yes,
a little more softly, saying, he's obviously speaking softly because he doesn't want these bandits to hear. He just says, "I've just asked for the to be prepared for any additional things we may require in terms of chains and other materials to keep these men incarcerated."
Of course, my lord. We should have him put on the watch, of course.
Indeed.
It should not take long to establish a stockade.
And he says to you, he says, "Your companions and yourself have done the town a great service. It's to be commended. When we're all regathered, I would like to thank you all for this as a group."
Thank you for your kind words, my lord. We are simply doing our duty to the Lord's Alliance in this town and these good people.
He says, "Well, after we put these individuals and have them in holding, I believe we should all rest for the night and reconvene in the morning.
Absolutely. While we initially went down below to dispatch the glass staff, I say very slowly and hesitantly, looking away from his eyes slightly, looking back. We gathered some funds, no doubt stolen property from the town, a chest of gold and silver, as well as other items of great value. No doubt there will be more such things found down there. We shall hold on to them until, at your pleasure, we will gather all that we have found, and the appropriate goods will be returned to those who owned it.
He nods. Very well. Bring your findings with you tomorrow when we speak.
At once, my lord. I bow.
And he says, actually, while you're here, please walk with us down and help us make sure that these individuals arrive at the town hall with assurances. And he shouts down to the trapdoor. He's like, Roger, Frank, get up here! And there are two more guys come up. So you've now got, and a few trailers come along as well, just kind of watching all of you. So you've got a host of commoners now surrounding you and walking with you all as you depart to leave the manor. And
as we're walking down the manor, if there are a few commoners around, I do tell them, not shout or yell, I do tell them, look, the Red Brand will no longer trouble you. You have taken to custody.
You see like a few people just looking on, watching, nodding, and just
I do make an
at this
effort to
point.
be seen. I do try to walk out in plain sight, hold my head up high.
Yeah.
Wince slightly from the aches, but just aches from the grievous damage I was dealt before, but has since been mended by the divine magics of Morthos.
Indeed. And as you leave, you see off in the grass, out in the front of the courtyard to the right, with his back into what you see Osborne praying and meditating, and you, whatever awareness you have, you know that everyone's walking away with the prisoners in tow.
I do approach him just as we're starting to leave, sitting there. I call out, my apologies, Osborne. I do not wish to interrupt you. However, it may be unsafe here. We're heading.
I look up and open my eyes and look at you, and I blink a bit as if like you've just woken someone up from a deep sleep. And
apologies, my friend. I say, I do not wish to disturb you. However, we need to go. I will not see harm done to you. You have fought well today. Incredibly well.
I give you a nod and stand up, because I'm not saying anything. I stand up and follow you. Make a mention with my hand to lead ahead, and I follow you.
I observe your form as you're walking down this strange, as the previous description, this block. How can something this small destroy bugbears? I think idly as I walk with you. Respect definitely given, but maybe even a little bit of concern, maybe fear even. This small package can do so much damage. Walking down. That's what I'm thinking in my head. As I'm walking down to the middle of town, basically.
Yeah. And now going back to Avlak in the tavern. Is there anything that you'd like to do while you're...
I think now that I've sort of, because, in the previous session I suppose I've already, so I identified what the scrolls are. So I think I'll just pack up at this point or whatever, start to, sort of collect my things. The scrolls, put in, several pockets that I have. Make sure to try and clean up, the ritual circle as best as possible. I don't want to leave it too dirty for happen state. And I once that's sort of all completed, tend to head down down the stairs and thank the was it town keep for.
Sorry, just need 1 second. We've got a really loud aeroplane.
Oh, we can hear.
Sorry.
That's right.
They're coming for us!
Sorry.
They know.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Probably get.
All good. And yeah, so I ventured down. Was it the stairs of the tavern? Or was it think? Was it the husband or the wife? That was.
So the wife of Toglin was downstairs. Esmeralda Stone.
Esmeralda, that's the one. Yeah. So I think as in passing, I was like, oh, thank you, Esmeralda, for making sure no one disturbed me whilst I did my elven things.
Yeah. Yes.
as I try to this is Avalak's attempt to mingle with the locals. It's hard for him.
Yes. She just does a really, really polite smile, like, yeah, like, just, but pausing a class, like, yeah.
And I sort of affirmative in the fact that I think I succeed. I sort of nod and then proceed with sort of a brisk walk with my new staff over at the tavern.
Yeah, fantastic.
You're stopped at the door. A big red form emerges from the corner as you just step out, and you see Tiber Siege, still dressed in rags and very bloody, just walk in, see you, says, "No, Emerald." And I put up my hand and I walk forward and then turn you slightly, trying not to use as much force as possible, but like basically lead you back inside. My friend, we're having a drink. There's much I need to discuss with you, and I need a drink.
Well, we're already here, so I suppose we can facilitate that. Esmeralda, it seems like we'll be staying here for a little bit longer, if that's okay.
She answers, she's like, all right, what would you like?
I sort
A
of,
bath, please.
Okay. She goes,
You've set that
Alright.
up to me.
all right, I'll heat up some water. Have it brought upstairs.
Thank you. And yeah, I'm covered in blood. Completely. I look like I've seen hell.
I've got this face, like I can smell it. Like there's this smell just emanating from me, and I'm just like,
Very weird,
oh.
like sweaty and yeah, bad for you. That's for sure. I assume Osborne is kind of behind me, but yeah. Whereabouts are you, man? I've entered the tavern. Ian.
You've entered the tavern. I want to ask DM Tosa,
Mm-hmm.
is there a river or a stream nearby the town? Is
I just consult my wiki.
there a little map?
yeah.
I think there's a well from down there.
Yeah,
Better not.
Hey, fine, he's
the-
strong.
Just put him in the bucket and lower him.
this is Fandolin as you know it.
This
Um,
is heaven as you know it.
So I would say there's definitely a well that you could draw water from.
Okay.
There's a stream in the top left corner.
Yeah, I'll go to the well and draw water and use some of the rags for myself to clean myself off under the trees.
Okay.
I strip down and get all groovy with the earth and
Very good.
start washing myself.
In the town square.
Well, no, the well's at the top corner.
Yeah.
This way.
That's a stream. So that's a stream.
Oh, that's a stream.
So the
Well, that's
the
where I want to go.
Okay, so you.
I thought that was the well.
So you.
Like, someone pinged there. I was like, oh, okay, there's the well.
So there'll be a well within like the town. Or,
Okay.
Or you can have a stroll up
Yeah,
to
I
the
want
stream.
to go to
behind
the
it.
stream and watch and have a shower.
Yeah.
Like, have
You
a
got
look
no
at the stream.
inhibitions, just a well, you'll be right.
Just a little bit of exhibitionist, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not from around town. I'm not used to.
You get scared. You get scared.
Social environments.
Yeah, and so you'll probably be on like probably a 15-minute. I would say 15-minute detour or 10-15-minute detour.
Cool.
To go do that.
At the tavern,
and-
I turn over. Osborne,
you now see this instance
He's
now
not
kind
around
of disappearing in between two buildings on the far side of town that you
Yeah.
observe, and you can see he's obviously off doing some odd thing that he does.
Strange. Well, Avalok, it looks like Porthos is busy with the prisoners. I think we have earned ourselves a drink.
A little bit of respite's always good for the soul, as they say.
My lady, Elzareza.
She's just out back at the moment, so she's just.
Okay. I call out, my lady! I'm not gonna wait.
She says, I'll be with you in a minute.
Tiber, she's a good woman. Let her do her thing. Let's come sit over
Currently, there's a shortage.
Okay.
Currently, there's a shortage of staff due to the recent pitchforkings. So there's probably still some people coming back in, and some other more patrons kind of just starting to come in. And she, as you remember, Avalak, she was actually hoping to see Toblin come back, and there was a moment where she thought that, where you thought it may have been Toblin that was slain.
Yes, I mistake faces quite easy.
Yes.
Humans all look the same.
They do.
Yeah. So she's gonna come out. And she's just, all right. Your water's on. You. We'll have a hot bath ready for you, and we'll let you know. And you
My
just see her.
esteemed thanks. I will have the best ale you have, please. And from
Okay.
right here.
Okay, and she nods, and you just hear her yell out the back. All right, before you do that, come out there and unbarrel it. And you just hear her yell out, and a young man comes out. He's probably about 15 or 16. Comes out, runs out, and starts working at this barrel. Is going to freshly unbarrel something, and gets working at that. And
My eyes linger on him, just like 1,000 yards stare. I don't realize I'm staring at him, but I'm like staring in his direction, just waiting for the ale. So if he looks at me, he just sees like this really messed up guy, bleeding guy in red rags and blood, just staring
And
at
he's
him.
just going. He's going, shit, I gotta go faster. And he's like, now fumbling, like.
Chopping tools and stuff.
And at this point, I sort of like to try and get Tiber's attention. I don't touch him because he's filthy, but I'm just sort of like almost like waving my hand in front of his face, like, Tiber, here, Archie?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about some things. I'm glad that feels. Very glad. So then I will be much gladder when the ale arrives.
Fair enough. I can see the appeal. You don't mind if I what do you humans call it? Smoke. That's the one.
Be my guest.
That's right. And I get out of my little pouch. I get my little pipe.
Yeah.
And my elven leaves and all. To you as a Tiber, it looked very sort of strange in itself, but just these leaves are like sort of brilliant in colour, but you wouldn't think leaves would sort of look like this. And I start to sort of mush them and rabble them in my hands, and sort of stuff in this pipe.
I observe it with great interest.
And at this point, the young man comes up to you and says, would you like a mug or a pint?
A pint, 2 pints.
And he says, all right. And he gets out and pours it. And he says, that'll be 2 silver total.
And boy, I call out.
Yes.
He just turns out.
And he says, yes?
Keep nearby. We'll need refills very soon.
And
I just
he
nods
nods
and
and
smiles. I dump 3 gold on the table, which is more than enough.
Yeah.
Okay. I just dump it on the table. I should buy the first 4 rounds. I will ask my friend. We have much to discuss.
It seems like you do want to talk for a while, and at this point I sort of put the pipe in my mouth, and by using my control flame, whatever, I sort of look over towards I imagine there'll be like a candle.
Yeah, there'll be
somewhere.
a few candles on tables and lamps, kind of sconced onto the sides of the door and
stuff like that. Well, one of the candles are sort of basically just not using my hand, but using so if you can see the sort of glint in my eyes or whatever, and as the sort of flame slowly sort of trickles over to the front of the sort of pipe or whatever, and just touches it slightly and towards the sort of lip, and then the flame sort of glides back to the candle was once on, and I'll begin to up and puff.
Cool. And as you are sitting here drinking and enjoying your drink, you do notice that now next to you this whole time, kind of breathing heavily, staring down at the bar, hunched over a drink, you do see a man that looks deeply, deeply troubled.
Oh.
And C, would you like to describe your character?
Hello. I won't say my name yet because you haven't learnt it. But basically, I'm a normal-looking guy, about 6 foot, wearing very not particularly ratty clothes, but clothes that look like they smell of ale, and when you get closer, they do smell of ale. I've got a raggedy kind of reddish beard and raggedy kind of reddish hair. It looks like I'm strong enough to be in bar fights, but the bar fights I'm in, I don't win. So yeah, that's the kind of character you're looking at. He's just hunched over the bar. He's got a mug in his hand and he's slowly sipping on his ale and just mumbling to himself. Yep,
And so,
that's what I
just so you know, that's on your periphery.
Okay.
And see, that's where you are at this point.
So basically, we're like at one end of the bar, and he's on sort of the corner end, somewhere off to the side.
Yeah, there's like one blank stool, then you guys, and then him, and there are now a few more patrons now trickling in, coming back from the recent spectacle.
All right. So Tiber, you want to discuss something?
We can only thank the gods and their blessing that we survived that ordeal.
Yeah, it seems it was quite dire all of a sudden, especially with those bugbears appearing. Many moons since I've seen them. Well, in such greater numbers. Usually, it's quite similar to the first one we sort of encountered. A lieutenant or a leader of goblins and other riffraff.
Indeed, but they were nothing against our combined might and our courage, would you not say, Avalok? Our great courage.
I suppose. And the need to survive usually outweighs most things, but courage, and I could see you yelling towards the townsfolk and rallying them to a cause. One singular cause tends to...
It does good for a town to defend itself, I say, saying a little bit loud. It does good for a town to defend itself. After all, how else will they be able to survive in this wilderness? I'm surprised that they have survived for so long.
Well, you're a bit late.
Hey?
I said you're a bit late.
I cannot hear you. Friend, come here, sit by us.
I get up out of my chair and I kind of look at the barkeep and waddle over and sit down on the chair.
Barkeep, another one we're having. It's good. I recommend it. I'll look over at you.
I said.
What did you say? It's nice, good sir.
I know he's dying. The mic's gone.
Thank you, Ali.
Just repeat what you last said.
Oh, well, you see, the problem is, you think that we don't have any courage, but we've been here for... We don't stand up, but we've been through hell here. We've been here for a lot longer than you.
You speak the truth, friend. You speak the truth. But still, it is insane to me how the Red Brand managed to find... I think he timed out.
He's gone.
See, he ran off.
God damn it.
There we go.
Alright, let's see if that works again.
There we go.
I'm back in. But the second I
True.
Here we go, isn't it? Right.
True, but still, it is insane to me how Perhaps not the people. Perhaps I was incorrect in saying that. The people were capable. Were you there today? We just got back from killing the Red Brand. Remember those guys? Come around.
I know who they
steal their
are.
crops.
I'm well aware of the Red Brand, and I
Well-
know what they can do.
Do you know where we have just come back from? Killing them and capturing them.
Well, I'd be disappointed if you couldn't catch them with all that armor that you wear, and all those swords that you have hanging off your body, and all this fancy pointy shit that this man over here has. You know, I'd be disappointed if you couldn't kill them.
At this
Not all
point,
That's
of
fair.
big puff of smoke, I sort of blow out towards each direction.
No, indeed, you are right. It would be disappointing. We are extremely capable.
Brave as you. I would be disappointed if you couldn't, you know, save us, or come in here with your swords and your fancy shit. Because this is just ridiculous, you know? Not all of us are brave adventurers like you. Not all of us have the courage. And with that, I'd lean back down and sip a little bit more on my mug.
An adventurer? No, my good sir. I am an agent of Wakin. I am no adventurer. I am a businessman, a trader, a merchant. Yet, I do what's necessary for my faith, the goddess of whom I serve, and for the good of the people in the community. So I suppose sometimes I do adventuring work, as you say. However, that is definitely not my expertise. No. Abalaki, however, has done some adventuring work, haven't you?
And at this point, I sort of haven't taken too much of the conversation in, as I've been sort of wandering around. So, adventuring?
Hey,
What?
Abalaki.
Oh, adventuring, yes. Well, I
I'm getting
suppose.
pretty good tipsy by now.
I suppose I've had many of you to actually contemplate was adventuring, and then actually facilitate adventuring as well. I'm not a spring chicken as the humans say. I continue to.
Are these guys both humans? Sorry, so what do I say?
So I'm a human. Abalak is an elf.
Okay. Full elf?
Full elf.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Pompous elf. He looks down on you.
Oh, how tall are you guys?
I'm about 5'8", so I'm not very tall at all.
Yeah, I'm about 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah, I'm about 5'10", 5'11", so I'm not short.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, well,
I'm short.
And I've got like an okay kind of stocky-ish build. I mean, it's more of a slightly pudgy, just slight pudginess, but otherwise pretty well-rounded. But not a military man. I'm not muscly. I'm not really well-defined, well-developed. I don't look particularly very strong at all.
I do. Please do mind my aggression. Those bandits, they were here for such a long time, and they took so much away from so much all of us. And I kind of feel bad that I wasn't there today. It's hard, you know. You try your best, and then it just
Absolutely, I agree. When there is such failings of the town master Harbin, it wasn't until the great Lord Silda Hallwinter came and liberated your town from the clutches of that buffoon that you managed to fight back. I understand, my good sir. I understand. Thieves, bandits, those who take away your goods, who come and take away your sheep, your cattle, your weapons.
Scum! A lot of them. That's what they are.
They are to be burned and left on display.
I agree. Burn. We should just burn a lot of them. You are right, my good friend.
My friend,
you are right.
there are many captives today. Perhaps we shall be burnings tomorrow. Oh, such fantastic sights.
I would very much like that.
Indeed.
I'd very much like to see them burn.
A great
Those
event
men.
for the whole family to come see.
Oh.
The burnings of those who accosted them and stole their goods. And such
I
is the
like-
way in this land, this brutish land, where you have to survive owlbear attacks. And hordes of goblins corral the countryside.
Tiber!
Wow,
As I
I'm
don't.
just kind of like, I'm looking upon this guy with like a kind of drunken awe, kind of thing, and like I'm really like soaking in what he's saying.
I've got a
Getting
decent
really
amount of
behind
charisma,
it.
so I'm quite charismatic.
It's like,
I'm very friendly. I'm
I
very friendly.
thought you wanted to be calm and discuss something, not incite another riot.
I am very calm, Avalon. I don't understand your words.
Well, I should introduce myself.
Of course,
My name-
my good sir.
My name is Park. Just Park.
Burke.
Park,
Oh.
yes. I shake. I don't know what your hand is. I'm going to shake out your hand.
Yep, and I
Exile.
shake it vigorously. Not a very strong grip, but I do put some effort into it. Like I'm very energetically shaking it. Well met, my good sir. I am Siege Tiber.
It's nice to meet you, Siege.
Indeed.
And you? And I turn around to.
Oh, here.
Oh.
This is Avalon, my associate and close friend.
And
It's good to meet you,
I-
Avalon.
well met. And I thought it was just small pot.
Cool.
Indeed.
So where? So what do you guys? Do you have any plans at this point in time? Are you going to? Are you going to come to the burnings tomorrow? Hopefully?
Oh, of course.
Hopefully I
Indeed,
see
my
you
good
there.
sir, of course. I am a man with always a plan. I have many such plans that I wish to do. I have taken a fond liking to this town, this Vandalin, and I wish to establish a trade headquarter here, with the permission of the great Lord Sildar Hallwinter. I wish to establish a trading partnership, business, and also to see to the safety of this town. I am from Neverwinter, but originally I hailed from a farmstead far away from Neverwinter in a place called Thunder Tree. So
That's
indeed,
what I
do.
used to do. My parents were farmers as well.
Yes.
They were fantastic farmers.
Oh, indeed. There's much skill. It is a...
It's a hard life being a farmer.
Yes, indeed. But it's very worthwhile. You do good to your people and to the cities nearby, for you sell their produce to them, and their people are fed. There is no starvation in the streets.
Sometimes
It's a
they just
good
don't
trade.
realize that when you work so hard as a farmer. They think you're lowly, but you go and you get all their produce and you bring it to them. Without us, there wouldn't be much of those big cities that they talk about. It'd be
Indeed.
quite small. No bigger than this without farmers. No, the farmers are the backbone of the empire.
Indeed. If you recall, Neverwinter was currently destroyed by the explosion of Mount Hotnow. And I can tell you, my good sir, living among the streets of that famine-infested, scorched land where the volcanic ash destroyed all the farmland, all kinds of people, nobility, would offer casks of gems and gold for sacks of turnips. Turnips, I tell you!
Turnips! Oh, I wish I was there. I would have loved to get myself some hands on those gems. The
Indeed.
things that I could have done with them.
But my friend, there was a terrible time, starvation in the streets. When the nobles would offer their riches for mere turnips, the poor starved. It was not a good time. The situation is better. However, that is one of the reasons I am here, my good sir. I am here to establish a trade route with this Vandalin. This region, this countryside has been blessed, for it is not affected by the volcanic ash of the explosion. To the north of here, though, towards the Neverwinter Wood, half the wood has been destroyed, and many of the farmlands around it. My old home, Thunder Tree, was destroyed. It was a horrible. I'm just drinking now, just like giving my black story. My home was destroyed. I watched my family starve. My parents gave all they could for myself and my brother. A cripple. Oh, this was difficult times. But we were
Those do
saved.
sound like hard times.
Yes, we were saved by a caravan from Waterdeep of the Lord's Alliance, and with their aid, we managed to
Bullshit.
Oh god.
Sorry.
with their aid, with their aid, we managed to get back to Neverwinter and live there as street urchins. It's getting quite loud in here. It is good. There should be more songs and boisterousness. You fools! Sing! We have victory this day. I shout
Tiber.
at a group of people having a drink. There should be music and dancing here. We brought
Do you
victory today.
What do you think I am, a bard?
Will, do you think this trade mission that you're on? Do you think it would have? Do you think? And I kind of trail off for a second. Do you think it would have a chance at redemption? Do you think you'll be helping people?
Yes, very much so. This will lead to prosperity in Neverwinter, but my friend, there are still hungry people in the streets of Neverwinter. They managed to get by, however, food is very scarce. The countryside is still ravaged by scores of the fiery dead, as they call it. Some sort of spell they fell down.
So what you're saying is, if someone was to help you, it would put them in favor with whoever there might be, that might offer some kind of...
The gods?
I don't know.
Of course. Absolution through good works is absolutely a
and my
conceivable.
eyes kind of like light up at like this chance of like hearing this kind of redemption, being able to redeem myself and be, like you can see that like I'm really hanging on of how, you're talking about how great this is and how big your mission is. Do you need? Would you be looking for anyone to come and help you on the way? I mean, I can wash dishes. I'm not much of a cook, but I can carry stuff.
Absolutely, my good sir. Absolutely. In fact, my friend, I am in plans with the great Lord Sildar Hallwinter. I say again. His full name, making known to all that I'm an important person and I associate with important people. I am making plans to rescue a good man, a dwarf, no doubt, by the name of Gundren Rockseeker, and I am in plans to establish an expedition for his rescue. He has been accosted by a foul demon, a witch of the woods, somewhere in the woods of Neverwinter, he was the sole cause of this red brand.
No.
We're going to rescue him and seek justice and absolution, and in doing so, we shall also set up trade in this region, where all will grow wealthy and all will grow prosperous, and the women and children in Neverwinter will be fed, and there will be plenty for all, and the great old days will be rebuilt. That is our mission, my good sir, and if you wish to come with us, absolutely, I will welcome you with open arms, my brother.
Oh.
At this point, Esmeralda pops her head down and says, "Your bath will be ready in 3 minutes."
Very good. More ale.
I kind of like pick up my ale and to adventure and to redemption.
Indeed, may the gods upon our good works for King's glory. And I like
down the ale.
Yes. Last time, I'm like, what are you doing?
For this entire rambunctious two humans was beside me, just yelling and screaming whatever else, while I thought it was going to be a quiet, as a thought-provoking conversation, but it turned into let's drop the names of the local Nords and all and see if I can be the louder one. I've just got this sort of look of just disdain at this point. I'm just like, I'm here, you two. Actually, you, what is your name? You one. I sort of point out.
That's to me?
Yeah, to you. Yeah.
My name is Park, sir.
Horak, right. Come here for a second.
But I go towards him.
Oh.
I turn, you're getting up to leave, I'm on my right side and you're on the left over there, and so you pick up and you're like, what? Where are you going? I turn around, and you're going around behind me. It's like, okay.
And as you walk right to, actually was it put my hand up and I just towards your forehead, and I actually used my detect thoughts. I'm trying to ascertain why you just suddenly appeared. Why are you here? Who the hell are you?
Okay, so what's the spell description for
Okay.
Detect Thoughts? Let me just...
It's a big one, but alright, so for a duration, I can read the thoughts of certain creatures, but I mean creatures, people, whatever, the same thing. And you cast a spell at your action, blah blah. That's during like, all I need to do is like spend a copper piece. So at this point, whatever, as well, in order, I sort of reach into the dirty, filthy, disgusting pockets of Tiber nearby and sort of rummage around while you're still drunk, so you don't know what the hell's going on or whatever, until I sort of feel, that feels like a copper. Yep. And I pull out the copper or whatever and just put that my hand while I, sort of gleam with this pollock.
Okay, so how this works. You initially learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what is most on its mind at the moment. So, and then if you wish to then go further over more time, then there's wisdom saving throws involved past there.
Oh, I'm plunging.
I'm back.
We're in session.
And no matter what,
User disconnected
he will
from
be
your
aware
channel.
that you are probing his mind.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Either way the target knows that you are probing its mind unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts. The creature can use its action on its turn to make an intelligence check. Because by your intelligence check, the spell ends.
So at this point, because it's not a combo, we just do checks if I'm plunging deeper into him.
Yeah, I'll just give you guys turns that alternate.
Sure.
As you've started it, you've got the kind of the first
surface.
now glean the surface thoughts of this person. So see, divulge your surface thoughts, like your top layer, immediate, in the moment thoughts, your most poignant.
With this guy, what do I see about him? Can I tell? Is he
About me?
when you come up to me, are you like going to touch me or put your hand on my hand?
It's just hovering above. Like
okay,
you
so
get
it's pretty obvious that you're doing something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm definitely doing something. Yeah, you know that.
Okay, then I kind of look at you, and from my gist, you're getting like this sense of strong sadness and disappointment, and looking to be redeemed on the surface at the moment.
And at this point, after knowing this, I sort of that's sadness. So actually,
I kind of look at you and like, what's this town's jest towards magic kind of thing? How do we feel about that?
Magic is also so, and your character would know this, that all throughout the world, the use of magic has slowly been re-emerging over the last probably, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So there's it's kind of in the wake of something called the spell plague, where magic was more or less tainted, spells went wrong and haywire, many magical accidents happened, many people lost their abilities. Lots of magic just stopped working the way it was intended and became very dangerous, volatile, and often resulted in tragedy or just magic just left. A lot of magic just dissipated.
There might be some superstition regarding it because...
Yeah, there might be some apprehension around it. However, it's
not outright illegal. We don't kill witches.
However,
like this fear around it because it hasn't been around for so long, and it's.
Well, the last time it was around, people died.
Yeah, and it hasn't been around for like 2 generations.
And look, I'm not really wanting to subscribe too much to the spell plague as canon in Forgotten Realms, so I'm just kind of wanting to just put this to bed at a certain level. So I just want to say that it's okay. Using magic is generally okay, but new and interesting to many people because they've learned to go on without it, and it's usually something quite rare, expensive, and often wouldn't be used in many situations anyway. And even more now, magical things are more valuable and more rare than ever before.
Yeah. So how would a common person react with someone attempting to read their mind, kind of thing? Like, cause
It depends on your
what?
familiarity. Like, I mean,
Yeah. Okay. So
would
it's
you, if you saw him raising a hand to you, it may just look like a stop. But the fact of the matter is that for this spell, it does involve a verbal, somatic, and material component. So you see, Avalak would be muttering something.
Yeah.
He would
So
be
I can tell
he would
that
be
he's
making a symbol with his hand, and would be clutching the components and his focus.
God, curse your turnips!
Alright, so I want to. So I see what he's doing, and he kind of like you muttered redemption, and I kind of look at you. I'm like, oh, you're a magic user, are you, boy? Sir, sorry, sir.
But there's something more about this redemption. What is it? And
I sit back down at the at the bar.
What's going on here?
And I go to the Ali, please another ale. And I go, there's not
And another one for me.
There's something I'm not telling you. Basically what happened was me and my crew. I was employed by one of the locals here to guard one of their farms, as they usually do. And usually it's a cruisy job, you know. Sometimes the kids will come onto the orchard and that kind of thing, and they'll grab what they want and that kind of stuff, and you know, you just shoo them away. Off you go, boys. You know, we're a quiet town. But then, when the bandits came, it was one night, and they just came in, and they didn't care about the apples and the boys. They just slaughtered. They killed the hand of the orchard, and they killed my guards, and I ran, and that's it. And I just.
There is no shame in running from a fight you cannot win. However, there is a shame in giving up.
I don't want to give up, sir. I
Good.
don't.
And if you do not give up, then you will eventually find success in all things in life. That is the promise of Wakin, my goddess, whom I serve. She is the goddess of coins and trade, my good sir, picking up one of the coins on the table. Put it down. She is whom I serve. She is whom we should all serve. After all, she gives us prosperity and all such fine things that men work hard for and men earn.
Yeah.
So
with that, I kind of give like a weak smile towards Tiba, and I put the mug back on the table and be like, oh, if you don't mind, sirs, I'll be here tomorrow morning. I
very
need to
good.
go gather my things. So
Very
I
good.
walked out of
Rest
the
up,
bar.
my friend. It was good to meet you, Perk.
Andrew, Park.
Perk.
And
I will.
Park.
I will.
And
I'll keep in touch, and we shall no doubt figure out and work out a deal, a contract of service, and you will be employed, my good sir, and fine things will come our way, surely. The future is bright, and tomorrow shall be made brighter by the flames which consume the thieves we caught this day!
and with that, I'm going to not walk as in a bit more of a stumble, kind of dragging my head. You know, it looks like I'm disappointed from bringing up those thoughts again. It wasn't something that I wanted to do, but you know, I wanted to be honest. So yeah, I leave.
So during that exchange, I've like you were concentrating on sensing his thoughts. Was that right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way that works, so the original, you got the surface thoughts for free. That's part of the spell. For any additional probing,
I'd choose not to now. Because he went and basically told what his story
Right.
was and all I
Gotcha.
needed at that point. When he sort of broke it off and all that, because he stepped away, what was a little harder for me to
Okay.
sort of detect, and it felt like, the conversation sort of went that way. So, no, I stopped.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, because I was going to say, because then he would then feel that, and there would be like willpower
Yeah.
rolls and stuff. But okay,
All good.
Avalock, you scared him. What was
No,
that? And you haven't finished your pint.
I'm drinking as fast as I enjoy it. I don't get your humors occasionally, your boisterous attitude, and you use a lot of words. Do you mean most of them?
Of course I mean all of them. I mean every word. Every word is a carefully selected sonnet from the word bank of my mind.
I'm sure. And I suppose everyone here is a bard then, because of that.
Well, yes, no. What?
Never mind. Besides, now that, before you enter your bath and you're still smelling of something that died several generations ago, was there something you wanted to discuss, or was it just more sonnet writing?
What was the contents of the document we picked up from Glasgow?
The letter, right. Well, apparently, what I was able to glean from it was that it was from
you
Lord
do have it
Albrecht,
on you.
wasn't it?
You do have it on you. if
Yeah,
you
so I
kept-
pulled it out, spit it out. Lord Albrecht and strangers coming from Neverwinter, dwarves, blah blah blah. That's the gist
Yeah,
of it.
I'll copy and paste it into the roll20.
Yeah.
And I was also going to say during the spiel from Porrick, Osborne would have re-entered by now, and
Oh, would have? Okay.
yes, definitely, it's definitely been 15 minutes because they've heated up a bath
Yeah.
for
Hmm.
siege.
It's like evening now. It's probably 6 o'clock or something.
There you go. There's the letter. I just pasted that.
Oh, perfect. Right. And I sort of I pull the was a letter out in one of my bags or whatever, and unscroll it in front of the Tiber. Here.
Apologies, my eyesight is fuzzy. Could you please read it to me
Right.
quietly?
Right. So, Lord Albrecht, spies in
Please
Neverwinter. Tell me. Yeah, no, I'm just ignoring him at this point. His planetary's already washed off. Tell me that strangers have due to arrive in Foundland. They could be working for the dwarves. Catch them if you can, kill them if you must. But don't allow them to upset our plans. See that any dwarven maps in their possession are delivered to me. With haste, I'm counting on you. Ira,
No doubt they speak of the Spellforge.
don't disappoint me. Yeah. But the thing is, have a look at this symbol down the bottom of it. See the signature? It's of a black spider.
An insect? Spider.
Spider, remember, he was apparently the
Leader of the
of
Cabal, the one who has Gundren and Roskseeker, according to Sildar, yes.
So, as I sort of roll
Who
back
is
up,
this black spider?
he's hiding at this present time. With his power base destroyed in this town, I imagine he's either trying to
Will be
recruit.
unhappy regarding the events that have taken place recently, and the death and execution of this last staff, this Iano Albrecht, I believe his name is. We should act quickly.
Hmm.
On the morrow we shall clean up and plan, but we need to go soon. We need to move on this castle and free Gundran. Find him.
Hmm.
He's not going to be left alive for much longer if we tally here and linger.
Well, especially now that, he has the threat. This black spider knows he's probably his only chip so far is this conundrum, so yes, haste it is.
We have spent too much time here. It was worthwhile helping these people, however. I fear that if we wait any longer, if we get distracted any longer, Gundran will be lost to us. We are owed him a contract of service. Indeed, if he has location of the spell forge, it is a valuable item, artifact, whatever it is, which should be secured so it does not fall into the wrong hands. No doubt you understand the complexities and the potential dangers of the arcane.
This thing in the wrong hands is just that. A problem. It could arise because of unknowing hands. So, the closer we find, the sooner we find this, better it is.
Indeed. We should pray, regardless, that we survive this next ordeal, this expedition, as we have survived today. However, we need to arm ourselves. I cannot be marching into storming a camp in rags and traveler's coats and gear. I need something with a little bit more
And at this
neat.
point, I just look at you. Perhaps you could just go for that bath. That might be a good step.
Yes, I'm going. By the gods. Oh, thank you, Avalok. That was a fine talk. I stumble.
And I slipped my hand, and it's like just.
Like it goes over, but like I don't fall over. But I manage to catch myself. A bath will do me some good.
Mm-hmm.
You join me?
I'll be okay. You enjoy yourself, Willie.
I grew up on a farm. That's
Yeah, you don't care.
It's very normal.
Yeah. That's fucking Elven royalty for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I'm just watching.
Yeah.
I'm not partaking. I'm just looking at this.
Are you close
drunken
by? Or...
mess of a man walking away.
Are you close by or something?
I'm like near the door, not within eyesight of you though.
Oh, okay. No
I'm deliberately avoiding you.
outside of me. Yeah, that's very good. Very fair. As I go for my bath, I'm wearing basic armor, so it just takes me 15 minutes to get the stuff off me, and by the time
It's lukewarm. It's it's not cold.
Yeah, that's fine. I
I don't think he fucking
half
feels it.
full in the water, I sit down, and then I relax on it and pass out.
There you go. There you go. And you awaken 45 minutes later, to a knocking Esmeralda on the door, and you've got all raisiny fingers and toes, and
oh yeah, it's a little bit cold as well.
and you're just there, and the water's gone all murky, kind of like this deep reddy brown from the dirt, blood that's now kind of come off your body and is now with you in the tub.
I'm still very tipsy at this point. What are you guys doing at this point? Just because it's gonna take me 45 minutes maybe.
Yeah, is there anything you guys do in the next 45 minutes?
Yeah,
That's
Mr. Ellison.
Avalok or Osborne?
No, all I want to do is find some apples and eat them.
Okay.
Have some water and apples.
Yeah. They'd have a little bit of fruit around in the tavern.
I
That's
need
not
a
too
bit of fresh air, so I think I'm going to have a bit of a walk around the town or whatever and just see. Well, actually, more. Yeah, seeing the chain gangs and the potential burnings for tomorrow get set up, and just thinking to myself, my humans. Oh well, suppose it keeps them entertained, I suppose. Continue to try and breathe in the air.
Okay. So you wander out of the inn. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And you make your way to the town hall, and you see a distressed-looking Harben Wester, the townsmaster, kind of pacing around in the landing of the town hall, just kind of pacing around, obviously looking distracted by something, quite concerned, and you can hear some some noise and kerfuffle from further the actual town hall proper.
I ventured towards it and seeing sort of Harbin, I ventured towards him and said, Harbin, what's the matter? You seem distressed.
We don't have space for all these bandits. Apparently they've got a leader, they've got a boss. What if he's upset? What if he comes for us? You know?
Calm yourself, man. It's okay. At this point, apparently, well, you know, we have these chains.
We've got to get them out of here. We've got to get them off to Neverwinter where they can be held. What if they get out?
If they get out, you have a mighty problem. Well, I don't...
What if there's more of them that we don't know about? What if they come back for them?
And at this point, in his mumblings, I just sternly look at him and say, if you want to have a conversation, then talk to me. If you do not want to have a conversation, be quiet.
So sorry, but it's just...
So collect your thoughts and try again.
Avlak, yes, thank you for helping with the bandits. However, could you please speak to Silver and that giant tiefling and try and find out when we can get them sent off to Neverwinter?
And that's very good. Try that more often, more people listen to you. And I walk off, and I try to find Silver.
And he just kind of nods, still kind of looking, you know, into the corner of the room, and fretting, absolutely fretting. And so you walk out into the town hall, and it looks kind of, you know, very plain. This is like a communal building that gets used for meetings or you know, when or people would meet here during the day and talk, or you know, bring their children here to play.
Might be there's theatre and stuff like that is happening or whatever. There's a show or whatever.
Yeah, little things. This is a communal area.
Okay.
And then there's and then kind of if you go around the corner, there's a kind of a large door that bars and locks. That is Harbin's office. But down to the side, there is yet a staircase that kind of goes down, and this is and this is where you know, you guys took Brian Daggerfoot and Randall Blackstone, who were the two original red brands that you had managed to catch. And you hear some noise coming down from there. You hear many voices complaining. You hear orders. You hear shouting. You hear discipline. You hear lots of metal noises. No high-pitched clanging sounds of steel, but more like the dull thud and rattle of cast iron and cold forged steel. You know, very, very hard, dense, sturdy metals, like manacles and prison doors.
Well, from hearing this, I sort of determined, well, there must be trouble. I'm kind of was inquisitive to see what it is, and also was it Sildar might be down there, so I suppose I tend towards adventure down to the cell, and also to see if our prisoners are still there, just for curiosity's sake.
Yep. So indeed, you do see that downstairs. You do see Sildar overwatching, while Morthos and some of the other villagers, other commoners, so the Dwarven brothers, the blacksmith. And the blacksmith has brought this, and you can kind of, you would have noticed on your way, like the drag marks of him hauling a huge sack of chains and things down below, and you can see that now there are so many people down here that the situation is not looking good for them. Actually, it's definitely a situation of overcrowding, where there were 3 cells, 2 of them being used and occupied by Brian and Randell, you are now seeing 3 people in each holding cell. That's a total of 4, 7, with another 4 actually chained to the outside of these holding cells as well, as there is not physically enough space for them to comfortably, without them piling on each other. There's no room for them to actually just be in that space. So they've chained them. There were no extra bedrolls or anything given. They're on the rocks. They're on the ground, and they are kind of, arguing between themselves, having little petty disputes, telling each other to give them more space, and swearing at Morthos. And you then see Morthos stand up and issue a threat to one, quite directly. He spits and Morthos backhands him, and shoves him back into the bars, and then looks at the rest of them and keeps chaining these guys by the manacles with a looped chain around, and then another secure peg from Danro, the blacksmith.
Well, yeah, just so as I sort of see, I'm walking into the room with a clutter of sort of people, whatever, and seeing was it Morthos as it is actually, or was it towards the prison itself? I try and sort of carefully sort of step around sort of the crowd or whatever, try and get towards his sort of locale, whatever, and try and get his attention. Was it Morthos?
He looks up and says, "Oh yes, hello, Avalak."
Well, it seems like you have your hands full down here.
Indeed, he says, "But if there were more, I would dispense justice swiftly."
Says, he
then says that to all of these criminals. He goes, "If you have a god, you best pray to them now. You do not have much time left."
Much as you are, sir. Well, I was just was it talking to, I forgot, Holborn? Harbin, that's the one.
Yeah, Harbin.
It was Harbin, that apparently Wooden Mine was getting his prisoners back to Neverwinter. I'm going to talk to Sildar as well, but they might be on the move soon.
Yeah. So Sildar's within earshot.
Ah, right.
And he just leans in and he goes, "Yes, we definitely cannot sustain these prisoners for this time." He says, "But let's speak more of this away from the rabble, and after they've been secured, let's have a word upstairs."
Okay. Well, I'll see you.
Then there's one guy left that they've got to just shackle up, and Sildar points at him and points to a section of the bars that he's going to shackle him to, and nods and does that. And you can see now the level of shackling that has been going on here. So you've got, but more or less, against the stone wall of the section, you've got kind of the end of the cell ranks, all of the cell fronts with dividers for each cell here. You've got one here, another one on the corner. And kind of in between the two, there's one strapped there and one strapped there. So there's room for the doors, but there's the odd bandit kind of shackled just outside there, shackled by their arms to there, and then there's actually another chain that runs along all of them, weaving in all of them, connect them. So if one to get free, they would still be attached to all of the other guys as well.
Yeah.
And so it looks very, very secure. You can see Morthos testing the chain, and kind of nodding. He nods at Sildar, and he thanks the dwarven volunteers as well. And they head off upstairs surely to go get a drink somewhere. And Sildar now says to all of them, he goes, "All right, we'll be down to check on you in the morning." And he says nothing else, and then heads upstairs.
Quickly go out there too.
And he says actually to Morthos, he says, he says to Morthos, he's actually, Morthos, I would appreciate if you and perhaps I'll go fetch Darren and have something arranged, and we will keep a watch on these men tonight. And Morthos nods and says, yes, of course. And so Morthos heads actually back down,
Microphone muted.
sitting to keep watch and saying that he will arrange with Darren and arrange a sufficient watch. And he's now going upstairs with you, Avallak.
Microphone
And he
activated.
does say that he says yes.
So,
Although Harvin is a coward, he does have a point. Now, I do not believe that we can sufficiently hold all of these men here and have the time with the matters on hand to execute their sentences here, whatever that may be. However, I would require some testimonies from you and your companions, along with my own, and we will have them written and sealed by my seal. And it's currently my plan to have Morthos travel with a host of people and have this secured. I will write to my council members and see if we can have anyone else spared to help transport these individuals. If not all at once, then perhaps some at a time, and do what we can to keep it manageable. And he then sighs and says, "But the people of this town do deserve to see this justice meet."
yes, it was in the tavern beforehand, before I ventured here. Was it voices that wouldn't mind was the idea of burning said individuals? Not all of them, but using some as an example. Firstly, I think the idea is disgusting, but forgive my sort of candor, was that these simple people do need a simple solution. So, it is entirely up to you, as being the lord you are. But if you cannot get all these individuals towards Neverwinter, it maybe was the best course. Keep that in mind.
He thinks for a moment and says, I believe it would be unjust to have them sentenced without a trial.
Well, maybe give them a trial in front of the people. We do have yourself was a member of the Lord's Alliance, as well as unfortunately Harvin, even though he's an articulate buffoon. So my apologies. But and it looks like Tiber's siege is quite the man of the people as well. Could possibly serve as a judge.
He now nods and says, yes, he has been an ally to the town multiple times now. And he nods and says, well, let me think on this. We'll decide in the morning what will be done.
Of course.
If we are to have a trial here in Fandolin, it must be done quickly.
Yes, it wasn't.
Yes. Yeah, and he says, and we will speak more in the morning about Yano and any other things that may be of interest now. I do not believe that he was behind the rampant goblin attacks. I had heard mentions of a black spider. Where this area is still very at risk. There is much brewing in the surrounding wilderness, and it still concerns me greatly. But for now, I believe we are safe, much safer now with all of your deeds being done. And
well, in your thoughts, in your study later, and as I get at the letter, was it beforehand and sort of pass him the sort of scroll of the letter itself
Okay.
to him. You might read this.
Okay. And he opens it up and sees Lord Albrecht. Starts reading it and starts shaking his head and says, "There is, as I feared. Iado and the Black Spider were connected.
Hmm.
I knew there had to be some source of foul play. This is the proof I need. Thank you."
Mm. Not a problem. Let's make sure this is get dealt with quite quickly because I don't know whether it's my senses or just the general sense of the town, but something's swirling. I'm not too sure what it is.
Yeah, he nods and says, "Yes, absolutely." And he's now, you can now see some gears turning in the back of his mind. He holds it and says, "Thank you."
That's fine.
And he's now quite trailing off a bit and says, "No, I am speechless at the good deeds you and your companions have done for this town."
They're good deeds, but just keep in mind these are certain deeds that facilitate ourselves as well. It's not entirely charity, but I mean, if it's beneficial to everyone, it's always a good thing.
And he nods and says, "Yes, well, I do guess at the end of the day is a community is just a lot of individuals, isn't it?"
Mm-hmm.
And he nods and turns off to go and heads off to then grab Harbin and then calls for Harbin and leads Harbin into Harbin's office and is holding a letter and starts to speak with him. Yeah.
Oh, good.
So,
Well,
anything else you want to do?
I don't think so.
I want to do one thing before the night is over and the next day starts.
Yeah.
Unless anyone else jumps in. At some point, when I get knocked on the door, once I finish my bath, I do get out. I'm a little bit sobered up, just a little bit, however, still very drunk. Managed to put on a tunic, not even properly, and not even tie the belt properly, and some pants, very basic stuff, and I drunk walk from Stonehill Inn to the Adderley farm.
I knew it. So, what's your attire again?
My attire. So just a simple tunic, just undergarment tunic. Something which you can kind of walk out with, but generally you would have something. Usually
you don't look very proper. And
No,
pants or no pants?
Pants, definitely pants. It's cold
Definitely
outside.
pants.
It's cold outside. I do remember that much. I do have like all my stuff bunched up as
just you kind of loose. You're kind of like a guy walking after he's lost like 2 or 3 buttons off his business shirt. It's untucked. It's just sleeves are rolled up. You look kind of like that. Like you're a bit unraveled.
As you're walking, was it to the farm? What I saw sort of walking sort of, like on the other side of the street or whatever. So it's just spy, like
And I'm groping my way through the darkness because it's night. There's no lights nearby. This is like medieval times. No one's gonna waste oil on lamps.
You see one light like in the distance, which is like the edge of town, which is like there's a lamp there. That gets left out.
Is it overcast or is it moons out? Are the moons out?
I'd say the moons are out.
Okay, so there's a little bit of light.
Like little, but you've been drinking. You had some blood loss earlier tonight.
Yeah.
And while Cure Wounds does cure wounds, to kind of get that life force back, you have to rest, and it takes time.
I'm still aching, but like the drinking helps with that because
of course,
forget about that.
And so you are kind of stumbling forward. You kind of stub your boots on a couple of jutting flagstones.
I didn't put my boots on properly, so like my feet aren't properly secured. So it's like a little bit.
Yeah, and so you're kind of dragging your feet a bit.
Stumble in a mud in a pool of mud and like.
And you get to the elderly farm, and the door's shut. And do you knock? What do you do?
Yeah, I knock quietly. Are the lights on?
Yeah, there is a dim light
There's a
in
dim
one of the
light.
windows.
I knock quietly.
Okay. And you see the light move, and you see a little, you see Colleen, the halfling lady, the farmer, open the door, and she's like, "Oh, it's you. I was up late. I was worried sick.
My apologies. My apologies. I
Please,
feel like
you're
a
always
wretch.
welcome. Please come in.
Thank
Take
you.
off your boots."
Yes, I stumbled in a mud pile. I apologize. I was debriefing with Lord Silver from today's events. We were successful, no doubt you have heard.
Just
I am
yes,
well.
yes,
I am
yes.
well. I took some hits, however, I believe I just need some rest, and
It's just
I was celebrating and there was drinking, and I feel ashamed coming here. But I
Yeah.
realized I left my things here, and
She nods and she goes, "Well, you're welcome to stay. I've kept your bed prepared. It's."
my thanks, my thanks.
She said, and I'd been up late. I was going to go out home. I was going to go out of my home and see what was happening, but it took all my will and my wits to stop Carp from going out to go see what was happening. The curiosity will kill that boy one day.
No, nonsense, nonsense. Nothing will kill that boy. He'll grow up strong, like his father was.
He looks down and nods. Yes.
Yeah. The look, oh shit, fucked up. Yes. I look at her, but hey, pull off the chin slightly. She's halfway still, very small. Justice was done today to those who have wronged you and have wronged Carp. That has been stopped. And those that are at fault of that will be put to justice tomorrow. You will be safe.
She nods and says, "Thank you. It's been uneasy times, and we can all now breathe much easier."
Yes. Yes, indeed. I will need to retire for the night. I give you my thanks. Again, you've aided me tremendously.
And she nods. And she opens up a room to a guest room, and there's, a bed nicely made, and, a fresh pitcher of water, and glass there, and like a little bit of linen, not like kind of like a towel, but not like a full size, just a little hand towel size linen. It looks quite nice. It's just, would you like any tea or anything before you're off for the night?
I stop and think. I'm trying to feel through my body if I need anything aside. Maybe a loaf of bread, perhaps. I fear that I skipped my meal. I just laugh, realizing I didn't eat anything. I'm just gonna be. This is very bad. I need to eat something. Otherwise,
she laughs and she goes, "I'll bring something in a moment."
Well, thanks.
And as you in the room by yourself for a minute, she comes back. On a small wooden plate, there's a bread bun, just a basic, bit of bread. And she goes, "Sorry, we don't have any butter, but
It's fine. Thank you. Thank you."
And she just leaves you with that. And there's a pitcher of water in your room, and she says, "Good night."
Good night. And
Closes your door and leaves.
memories of my own family back in Neverwinter swirl through my mind as I start feeling relieved, comfortable, very comfortable, but just very sad. I do miss my family. I do miss my wife tremendously. My kids. And I resolve to go to sleep so that I can see them soon.
Cool. All right. Are you guys alright if we take a quick break, 5-10 minutes?
Yeah,
Unless
sure.
there's anything else anyone wants to do.
Alright.
Just get yourselves drinks, snacks, and
Yep.
everything. Cool. I'm gonna just stay here and eat because I've got.
And you got to entertain the cat boy over there.
All right. So we're all here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Alrighty. So, unless anyone does anything overnight, it is now the next morning.
Ah,
Um,
that actually refers to me.
and
So in the
Um,
morning, I want to be in the tavern, like the front of the tavern,
yeah.
sitting down. I'm dressed in like just normal, regular leather armor that
Mhm.
some guy might just grab. It's not fancy at all. I've got a short bow and just like a kind of just a little axe kind of thing that I went and picked up on my way here. I had the bow for hunting and just grabbed the axe, and
Mhm.
that's it. That's all you can see on me. Oh, and just a gold pouch and that kind of thing. And I'm just sitting in the bar, occasionally whistling. Not pretty excited. Pretty happy to be here.
Cool. All right. Who's around? Who stirs? Who does what?
I'm outside,
Mm-hmm.
and I found a tree that was previously marked by a great man who had wandered through the town and displayed his awesomeness via performance. And I'm just being spiritual with this tree. I can see it, and I'm just looking at it, just contemplating. There's something about this tree that is important.
So, some otherworldly connection.
Yes, there's an outworld connection that I have with this tree. I will make my way to the farmhouse, whoever that is, and I would like to go get some apples again.
Okay. All right. So you wander over to the Outerleaf farm and knock on the door. All right. It's morning, and Colleen Outerleaf is already up and about. She's a farmer by trade and is always up very, very early. And she answers the door and is, oh, good morning.
Good morning. I was just wondering, could I get some apples?
She's, yes, of course. How many would you like?
Oh, I would like 3.
She,
You hear some stomping through the hallway. Colleen, I'm looking for some the towel you gave me last night. Osborne. You see me at the back of the alleyway within the house. Greetings. Have you come to get me? Good morning. You've come to get me, have you not? Of course you have.
I have
Be a
not,
moment. Be a moment. I need to get ready. Colleen, where's the spare towels?
She goes, I'll bring one into you. I'll bring one over. And she
Nonsense. Nonsense, I can get it myself. It's about time I'd be useful.
Because, all right, there's some in the cupboard. And outside your room to the left.
Cupboard.
Thank you. Down the hall.
Yes, I walk into the wrong room.
Yeah. Not that one.
Sorry. This one.
Yeah, you find covered with a towel. And Colleen just dashes over to her kitchen bench, pulls out a basket, and tears off a bit of the cloth in the bottom of the basket and kind of wraps them up and hands them to you and says, I get my apples from Darren. He's the one who owns the orchard, but I'm sure you know him. If you like them, you should tell him. He's quite proud of his apples.
Thank you, miss. I will take these apples. I will find Darren.
Okay. Do you leave her any coin? Because she's just offering. She's not asking for any. She's just giving you apples.
Actually, I don't know how much money I have. Can you type to my screen? I don't know if I have any money. How much money do I have?
You've got 10 gold pieces.
Okay. Does she have like change around that I can like?
Are you gonna ask if she has change?
You know what? No, I'll just leave her a gold piece.
You leave her a gold piece?
I'll leave her a gold piece.
Wow.
I just like
she looks at
put
it,
a gold
like,
piece down on the
and
wherever.
Thank you.
I give her a good nod and lift up the apples and like little salute and
Yeah.
walk out.
And she nods, and she says, "We'll come back tomorrow for some more." Yeah.
By this stage, I'm pretty much ready. I leave a pouch of silver on the table there, tucked away. Just where she'll find it later.
Yeah.
And I get ready, put all my gear, get most of my gear. Thank you for waiting, Osborne.
I didn't wait. I left.
You were.
Oh, but in
I
the
say
time you
I
did
say
that exchange,
Oh, okay.
you probably just if Osborne's intention was to just not wait and leave, he probably would he'd just be like casting off as you're like approaching the doorway.
Oh, I just see him walk out. Leaf, thank you so much for your aid. I'm not sure if I'll see you again for perhaps a few days. Perhaps today or tomorrow, I'll be leaving for an expedition, a rescue mission. I'll be quite busy.
And she looks at you and she's like, "Well, I would be worried, but the things I've seen you and your friends do, I know you'll be fine."
Absolutely, I'm a very capable man, as you see.
And she smiles a little and doesn't want to go to leave. And she's like now holding the basket, like looking all cute, you know. And it's like all smiley and just and then remembers herself that she's a mother. And yes,
And I remember I have a wife.
I love where this is going. And
I will see you again soon. I left something on the table just as compensation. Please take it. I don't wish to have any arguments regarding it. Please take it. It is a gift. And I shall see you again soon.
She nods and she says thank you. And
take care of Carp.
Of course. And she turns in and heads back in.
Leave. Osborne, wait!
I turn around, like I don't turn around completely, I just like turn my head with an apple in my mouth. And I look at you and I just like raise an eyebrow and slow down.
Oh, am I still in the inn? Are you guys still in the inn?
No. They're heading there now. They were at a farm, a nearby farm.
I'm gonna be confused where they were.
Before I leave, I do take 1 second to go bend down, when I get to the main road, bend down, whisper a few prayers to a silver coin, and then push it into the dirt of the road.
Okay.
To walk in. And I get up, and with that good bit of good luck, I kick my heels and go down the dusty road to the inn.
All right.
Put your boots of haste.
Well, where in the world is Avalak?
Was it that room that was prepared like earlier for my little ritual thing for identification? I've just taken residence there now. That's mine, and I've basically adorned it as a sort of like and uses pulled things from magical other realms or what is able to fragrance it and not making it smell like dwarves and humans and everything else. And as time was sort of exit the room, renewed after meditating for a while and collecting my thoughts, and I venture down, visit the stairs.
Quick question: what's a day like today? Overcast, sunny, foggy. Okay.
Yes, it's.
Is it a clear sky?
Can we see the sun through the fog, or
yeah?
So it's still quite early. And the sun is still kind of cresting over the Sword Mountains.
Sure. So there's enough light to see, but there's no beams.
There's no direct sunlight. I mean, cool. It's quite early, and still kind of you're only just getting your first bit of light now, and the fog will start clearing over the next probably 30 minutes to 45 minutes. But it's been a foggy morning, quite cool.
Excellent, thank you.
What season are we in?
Pardon?
What season?
I would say you're transitioning into an autumn season. I would say.
Okay. Was it a good summer or a bad summer?
Good harvest or bad harvest?
Yeah, good harvest or bad harvest?
No, I would say good for Phandalin. Good harvest in Phandalin.
Aside from the red brands, of course.
So they've kind of plagued this season. So any kind of prosperity has been very much nullified and
Yeah.
turned into a negative.
Yeah.
Definitely, because any kind of profit they were hoping to get from that has been very much diminished.
Awesome.
I accept the positive.
Yep.
Alright, so I follow with Osborne down the road towards the inn.
Mm-hmm.
I spot the gentleman I met last night.
Porrick.
Pork. Or Perk.
How do you say it?
Perk.
Porrick. So P-O. So you would spell it and you would say it as in P-O-R-I-K. Porrick.
Porrick.
Porrick. Yep.
Like-
It's spelled P-A-D-R-I-A-G. That's how it's spelled, but you pronounce it Porrick.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
very good.
Very
Like
Irish
sharp
name.
porridge.
Yeah, that's what I was
Like
thinking.
sharp porridge, Porrick.
Porridge.
Dark porridge.
In brackets.
So, start moving up, looking through the haze. Osborne, I hope this fog clears up soon. It will be a disaster. The entirety of the spectacle soon to come today of the burning should be shrouded by this blasted fog
Burning.
up ahead.
I look at you with like a half smile about the thought of a so mundane and boring ritual of passing the dead on, and say, yes, I think this fog will clear up. It will be a good day.
Indeed, my small friend, it shall be a great day. I feel really energized from yesterday. Uncommonly so. Great, it's a good day. Up ahead, look. And start walking up, walking up the stone, towards the stone hill inn, up the wooden floorboards of the stairs. And, Porrick, you see us approach up the stairs.
Good morning. I just wait. I'm trying to get the accent. Morning. There it is. Good morning, Sir Tybert. How are you?
Yes. I'm very good. It was, yes, good morning, my good sir, yes. Berg, was it?
Porrick, sir. Porrick.
Porrick.
Porrick. Yes.
Porrick, yes. Yes.
Yes,
Indeed,
yes,
yes, it was last night, yes.
Yes.
Excuse me, I'm still collecting myself. Yes, indeed, sir, yes. Oh, you have come, you have adorned yourself with fine gear, I see. Very good, sir.
Yes. Yeah. I spent some savings that I had, and got what I could. Got what I could, sir. It should do me fine for a simple man like me.
Very good. Well, you look very well equipped, and that investment shall not go to waste. I assure you, good sir. Ha ha! I clap you on the shoulder. Come inside.
I love to. I'm happy. I'm in a good mood.
Come inside. We have this, the one from last night, the elf, Avalac. Find him, and then we'll put together our plan for the day. We work together, you see.
I see.
Do you still smell of ale, Porrick, or have you washed your
I've done my best
clothes?
to clean myself up.
Okay.
Possibly in the well. You can't tell that. May have, but no, I am reasonably clean now. Yeah, I've
Okay.
taken a little bit of a razor and fixed up my beard and that kind of thing. I'm definitely I've given it a good crack at looking better.
Cool.
How tall were you?
Microphone
5
muted.
something?
6,
Pardon?
isn't it?
How tall are you? You were 5'6"?
5'11".
5'11". Okay, so 6 foot. Okay. Alright. That's just for my personal curiosity. I need to know how tall I am to you.
All good.
Cool. And at this point, you now see Toblin. Toblin's back, and he's posted in the inn, and he's coming out, as always, kind of fiddling with his barman's cloth, always got it strapped over his shoulder, flings it over and says, "Good morning to all of you. I trust
Good
you all
morning,
rested well
innkeeper
after your
Tobler.
heroics last night.
Indeed, sir. You were there. Did you not
Yes,
see our
yes.
bravery, our combined
Yes, I
might?
saw it all.
Excellent.
He says, I shot an arrow, but I missed.
Well,
And he goes, but
perhaps
it's there.
next time.
It's there, and the
It's the
manor
thought
will
that
remember.
counts, no doubt. No doubt, that's all that counts.
And he's laughing. He's quite self-deprecating, and this is like, well, the building itself will remember my deeds, for I struck it true.
Very good, sir. Can I please have 3 mugs of weak morning beer, please? Morning beer, just some very low alcohol.
Yes,
stuff.
he pulls you out. He pulls you out.
Is Avlak with us?
Are you sort of like in the room, Avlak?
Oh, I'm just on the banister on like the top level of the
Okay.
tavern, just looking down at this point.
Okay, cool. So Tolan pulls out 3 mugs of a light wit beer, and you know, it's kind of it has that light flavor. You know, it's quite you can taste kind of those traces of you know, yeast and it's quite wheaty, this one.
Interesting.
And it's kind of got a little bit more body to it, yet has a very light flavor. It's a good breakfast one. Puts a bit of stuff in your stomach.
I deliberately don't drink it. I ask for water instead.
Okay. So Topler goes, oh, right, my apologies. And he starts to pull the mug back and is ready to kind of pour it back in the barrel.
Sorry, my apologies, Master Toglin. Keep that there. Avila, come down. I spotted you. I'm very observant. I'm very, very, very observant. I noticed you up there. Avila, I have a drink for you here.
Oh, I'm surprised your drinking was a tie, but you seem to have a bit of trouble finding the way home last night, as I chuckle under my breath.
I managed just fine, thank you.
Uh-huh.
The bath was what I needed.
Yes.
How are you this morning?
I'm perfectly fine.
Very
I
good.
walked out again.
Have a drink.
Started to walk down.
And at this point, and Toglin says, I did have a message from Lord Zelda to when you guys all came together to head over and meet him and Morthos over at the town hall.
Oh, at once. Well, boys, finish your drinks, we go. The lords need our assistance, no doubt.
Ooh.
We have
Yes.
no time to dally here. We are important people, are we not? I look at you all.
Yeah. Do you guys do anything else?
I just say relative terms, Tyler, relative terms, and start to walk out.
Okay.
Relative turns. Avlok, it's a good day. The fog will clear up, and then no doubt we will aid by the fog clearing up by the great spectacle that shall be on later tonight.
Oh, that's right, the
It is
apparent
a good day
burnings.
to
Oh,
dispense
glorious.
justice to those thieves.
Uh-huh.
Truly, this day is blessed by our kin.
Mm-hmm.
Let us go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you're still talking. Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So, you head over to the town hall and you see Sildar dressed in not his full battle regalia, but he's wearing his armor. He's got some weapons strapped on him, but none of his his half plate or anything. He's just got his some leather armors and sword and weapon. And the longer you look at him, the more weapons you see.
Yeah.
and you realize that this man fucks.
Yeah. As a note as well, I'm not wearing my armor. I'm just wearing my tunic, my basic clothing. Just very.
Yeah.
I don't have any weapons either.
My stuff.
And he says, yes, good morning, all of you. If you would join me, please, in Harmon's office. And you see, you walk into this office, and there are a number of chairs ready there, and Harmon's kind of sitting off in the corner, and Sildar sits him down, middle of the desk, and is kind of is just penning some letters, and says, "I've got a few matters of business to discuss with you." And
Just before that, is Morthos with us, or is he down somewhere else?
Yes. So Morthos is among you.
Okay.
And
just
is kind
before
of
we
what.
jump in,
Yeah.
just before we jump in, I say to Lord Silda, excuse me, my lord. May I introduce to you another member of our endeavors? This man, after hearing the tales of our bravery yesterday, has decided to aid us in a future establishment of order and safety to the town. May you meet, Porik. Yes, Porik.
Park. Yes, sir. Yes. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
My lord.
And
I whisper, my lord.
wait, what is he? So I
Yeah,
don't even know what is he.
So
He's the
his name is Sildar Hallwinter, and he's a lord of the Lord's Alliance. So he's
okay. I can
he's
tell that. Yeah, that's all right. Sorry, I
Yeah.
couldn't figure out who he was.
yeah.
Yeah.
You would know.
Good
him.
morning, my lord. Yes, and I
Yes.
bow my head, kind of thing.
He meets your eyes and says, "And to you, my good man." And he says to the rest of the group, "Very good. Well, it's good to hear that we have more people wanting to sow some good here in Phandalin, and from here we can, sow some more stability into the region, and from there branch out and drive away whatever is plaguing these lands. Because, to be honest, it's very difficult to see the harsh things that these people must go through, and not just here in the surrounding regions. Anyway, we will talk about that. First and foremost, I have to thank you all for putting yourselves out there, for finding out about the red brands and clearing them out of their hideout. For this, the Lord Alliance is willing to pay you, your group, a sum of 350 gold pieces. And our sincere thanks.
You are most generous, my lord.
In addition,
Just quickly,
Mhm.
can you give us a quick rundown on what gold buys? So how much would you need for a house?
Oh, this is a lot of money.
a lot. So to put it, to stay in a modest, to live modestly for one day, including all meals and lodging, it's 1 gold piece.
Okay.
To buy a mug of ale. Let me just double check. I had this open before. This is what I was looking at. To buy
100th of a gold piece.
So it's a base 10 system. It doesn't go down into
Oh
hundreds.
yeah, 10, 10, 10. Okay.
It's 10, 10, 10. All those are all the steps. So yeah,
Do
a
you have
mug of
platinum? No.
there is platinum. There is platinum.
Okay.
Which is and there's also electrum, which is also another weird one that doesn't get used much. But say 1 mug of ale is 4 copper pieces for just a standard mug, but for a gallon of ale, it's 2 silver pieces.
Yeah. So how much would a horse be worth?
Let's get something
From memory,
actually right here.
Was it 50 gold or 100 gold?
Okay.
It's over 50 gold, I think.
Yeah.
All right.
I think 50.
Yeah, so say I've got it here. A riding horse to buy 75 gold pieces.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just want to get in perspective.
Cool. Yeah. No, that's good for me too. Because we honestly don't do a lot of money in trade, and I haven't really fleshed out a lot of value things. So I'm very glad that I get to test some things out.
Yeah,
on
but
that.
I would say to a farmer or a commoner or to regular people, I mean,
Yeah.
350 gold is like two lifetimes wages, like maybe a lifetime wage or something. So it's super massive.
Yeah, to get that amount of money at once is large.
Excellent.
So 350 have been pledged to your group to be distributed as you see fit, and it's at this point, and he says, I am speechless at that age, being able to provide for our region. I mean, I met you as some of you as acquaintances of Gundren on your way down to Phandalin, just to secure his goods as a favor to him. But I have been extremely impressed with the abilities you've displayed and the courage that you've put forward. on behalf of these people. And he now looks away into the window for a moment and then says, "We need people like you. And whatever we need to do to make sure that we can continue having your help, we'd like to do it. So whether you are able to establish this now or want to think about it, I would like all of you to become unified as a group. I'd like, whether that comes under my authority, the Lord's Alliance, or as your own, please let me know how the Lord's Alliance can work with you, because there is much work we would like to do. There are other outlying regions, we have other plans, and would like to see good fortunes return to this part of the world. So just, I would like to extend that to you. If there's any, well, I'm happy to keep supplying bounties and reward for deeds done. However, should you want to continue this line of work and then start to tackle some more of the land's challenges, then we should speak business, because and he looks down at this letter he's been writing to back to the Lord's Alliance council members. He says, you know, it's clear that we're onto something here, and that you're all very capable. And I'm writing now a recommendation that we extend any kind of assistance and support and any links of continued business that we can to ensure the good of the realm. And so he says that to all of you, and it's pretty much pitching the idea of he wants to keep you guys around, and he's asking how he can do that.
I want to ask him. I want to say to him, excuse me, have you stumbled across or heard any reports about orcs being in the area?
And he nods and says yes. And at this point, Harbin speaks up and he says, yes, actually yesterday I heard that north of Wyvern Tor, further up at the base of the Sword Mountains, there's an orc encampment that's sprung up. It was brought to my attention late yesterday.
Should any chance arise that we need to take care of these orcs, please do not hesitate to ask me.
And Harbin then says, absolutely.
I look wide eyes at Avalok, like, what? Okay. I don't say anything, I just look at Avalok.
I'm scratching the side of my hand just a little bit.
My lord, you honor us with your praise and this generous offering of services, and of course, my lord, we will do all we can to aid you and to be a part of the rightful rule and the establishment of the Lord's Alliance right of power here. It has been too long since Neverwinter was... it's been too long that Neverwinter has been, and the region around Neverwinter has been ransacked by chaotic cabals of groups, organizations, vulture picking at the corpses of this once great nation. If we can do anything to aid.
He stands from his chair and says yes, and that's exactly it. My theory is that rather than focusing all our efforts on Neverwinter itself, we need to strengthen our borders, strengthen our lands, draw strength on our friends, and in unity, then we will prosper.
Indeed. My lord, regarding my own personal situation, I am endowed to the service of the Church of Wakin in Neverwinter. I have business with the church to conduct with Gundran Rockseeker, and as such I am tasked to find his whereabouts and safely secure him and any of his servants. However, after that, I am still endowed to the service of this temple, and my mission is still to establish a headquarters for the faith within this region. I've spoken to you before briefly about such things. However, if I were to serve you in a much more full manner, I would need to at least report back to my faith that
At this point, he
something
raises his
possible.
hand. He says, "No, I do not want to put you under my servitude, but rather under my request." And say, he then continues on to say that, you know, I would not want to have any kind of absolute authority over you. Obviously, you all
Of
walk different
course.
paths of life, but you have the ability to do good. It is that I want to engage in business with you for.
Of course. However, though I am endowed to the service of Joaquin, if perhaps there could be a possibility that you would be willing to discuss about the concept and the possibility of setting up a sort of headquarters here in Fanlin, as I've discussed with you previously about
He
the
nods.
churches, then that would perhaps be that could perhaps free my duties for the time being, that I could engage and focus my efforts on aiding you. It would be something which my superiors in the church would be, I'm absolutely sure, would most be interested in such a trade.
He nods and he says, "Oh, indeed, the Temple of Joaquin. Okay, I will write one more letter today." And he
You have my
Indeed.
esteemed thanks, my lord. Truly, this is a
Indeed.
great day.
nods, and yeah, I guess he's kind of then looking at all of you. He's, you know, he looks at Osborne, Morthos, Avalak. He looks at Porrick and is now saying to all of you, says, "There is much work to be done here, and there are many things that concern me. However, first and foremost, we need to deal with the Black Spider. It seems that he is the source of evil in this region, and a letter provided to me by Avalak has confirmed my suspicion."
Who's the Black Spider? I haven't heard of that.
He says, well, many months ago,
Yes.
we realized that Fanlin was booming once more. A good friend of mine, Gundren Rockseeker, had told me that he had found some great mystery.
Look over Avalok.
Prior to this, we were aware of Phandalin. It had re-emerged as a mining town after being nearly abandoned, except for a handful of farmers. But mining had re-emerged, you know, many years ago. In the last 3 years, it's grown and grown. It's now a large town. There are many people that live here. He then says, "We felt it was our duty, given the amount of people that had gathered, that had increased from beyond a small community to now a town. And so we commissioned a wizard by the name of Iano Albrecht to travel to Phandalin and establish a constabulary, a outpost of authority, justice, and law-keeping for the townsfolk, to help Townmaster Harbin deal with civil disputes, but also wider protection from the increased attention the town was getting from goblins, hobgoblins, and whatever else plagues the land." You see Harbin mutter under his breath, "There's orcs. The orcs are coming for us next." And he says, "Silence." He says, "Yes, there are many things out there." And so we commissioned Diano to come down here. We sent him down with a caravan of supplies and writs to hire men from here and the surrounding areas to join in protecting this town. However, clearly, as this letter outlines, Albrecht had been seduced by the Black Spider. I don't know how that went down, but instead of protecting the town, Yano managed to raise a band of mercenary thugs that you know to be the Red Brand Bandits, shaking down the good people for protection money and constantly threatening, killing and kidnapping a few. While we cleared the place out overnight and this morning, we recovered many things. Lenine from the Lion Shield Costa found many of her stolen wares still in crates with her brand emblazoned upon them. She was very relieved, although she doesn't have everything she lost. She has her livelihood back now.
That is good news.
Yeah, it is. Now we can engage with her in business. There are many things we might use there to protect the town now. And she's been doing business all morning. You know, the townsfolk buying up what they can, any weapons they can wield. And Darren has been speaking with many of them about the militia that will come about here. And this will be supported by the Lord's Alliance as well.
I have a big grin on my face.
He says, I have a very busy day of letter writing ahead of me.
So the Lord's Alliance is the overwhelming military force? Or are they just...
Kind
the
of.
main government in this region.
Okay.
Yeah, they're kind of a governing authority. So they're a coalition of nobles who have
Okay, yeah.
titles, deeds to various parts of the land surrounding Neverwinter and within Neverwinter. And
Also extend down as far as Waterdeep and other major cities.
So all throughout the Sword Coast.
Are their armies employed, or they fight for a cause?
Both?
Both, yeah.
Both, yeah. Sorry, where was I?
You were mentioning about
The militia.
militia, yeah.
Militia, yeah.
So, and this will be supported by the Lord's Alliance as well.
Okay, cool.
And he says, very quickly, I'll quickly tell you what business I have to deal with you today. I've got a decent list here. It says, so, for determining the mystery around Diano Albrecht and uncovering that he was in fact Glassstaff, you will be rewarded 200 gold pieces, as well as the 350 gold pieces for clearing out the bandits and removing them as a threat from the town.
Wow.
He says, he then says, now there are many other matters that we need to attend to. Gundren Rockseeker is still missing.
Indeed.
We know him to have been kidnapped. I myself, while prisoner of the Cragmore goblins, I overheard that he is being held in Cragmore Castle. My understanding is that that's somewhere within Neverwinter Wood, north of here. This letter leads me to believe that the Black Spider is the reason that Gundren had been kidnapped by these goblins. And I'm drawing the assumption that the goblins are also under orders from the Black Spider. Therefore, it is my number one priority that the Black Spider be destroyed. And secondly, that we do all that we can to secure the whereabouts and safety of Gundren Rockseeker. And, if possible, prevent the Black Spider from obtaining Gundren's map. Gundren only spoke to me very briefly about what he was hoping to discover. Some of you know this. I just pray that the Black Spider does not have sinister uses for what Gundren had in mind. He looks towards Tiber and Avalak with an eye. Following this, I can confirm Harvin's reports. I have also heard that north of here, far north, there is a new orc encampment, the closest one that has come to our outpost in many, many years. They are growing bold and must be driven back. We've heard rumors that orcs and other things have been seen running through the wilderness. We can't allow them to come much further after we've just won our protection and our freedom. Also this morning, Darren mentioned to me that he saw some shambling corpses further north as well, by Old Owl Well. I don't know whether they're undead,
Gambling.
but it definitely sounded like them.
That is most ill news.
Yes.
Do you suspect perhaps necromancers infest the orcish ranks? Do you suspect they are the cause of this taint?
Sildar looks up and says, I don't know. But
This is a very
where
serious
possible,
matter indeed.
where possible, I would also seek your aid in securing Vandalin from all angles. Whether from the Black Spider, whether that's connected, whether it's the orcs, I'm not sure.
As you say, it shall be done, my lord. I bow.
We would be more than glad to help you get rid of the orcs.
And he nods.
My lord, these are two threats. The orcs to the north perhaps are an immediate threat to Phandalin. However, the fate of Gundra and Rockseeker hangs in balance, as well as this map and the possibility of it being in the hands of this black spider. Which course of action would you suggest taking first? Would the town perhaps be able to withhold a raid, if possible, if one were to happen? The gods forbid.
Sildar is pacing, and he says, this is what I've been debating with myself all day. We don't know what their motives are. We don't know why they are here. And he says now, and I'm just going to actually just flick myself over to the map to get the distance right. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at
Many days' travel.
yeah, so you're looking at and he says, you know, they're 3 days travel from here, further east along the Sword Mountains, in the foothills. And
Is
then
that where the orc encampment lies, my lord?
that is.
I see.
But and I can actually I can show you this. Actually, no, I can't because it's got stuff on it that you can't see.
No
I want
problem.
you
No,
to.
that's okay.
And then he says, you know, and then you know, more than a day's ride north of that, there's Old Owl Well, an old site, a grand well and tower. It
I
is
do
there.
recall something about that in my tutelage back in Neverwinter. Old Owl Well was always a land contested fiercely by orcs in the region.
And he nods and says, well, while Darren was out this morning, there were some travelers that came through and carried on. He heard that they had reported such things coming in from the Tribor Trail. He brought it to my attention immediately. And then he says, there are many things we have to consider. I believe the longer we wait, to deal with the Black Spider, the stronger he grows. I believe he anticipates us. He may have spies. I'm not sure. I feel that the longer we wait to deal with this threat, it will only worsen. However, if this small encampment of orcs is just a scouting party, then they're just orcs, and we can deal with that when that happens. They're 3 days from here.
The scouting party might be the forefront of a board.
Indeed.
Very concerning.
Perhaps I will see if I can ask any of the townsfolk to scout along. See if we can set up a watch camp a day or so out from the town.
Perhaps it might be time, my lord, to set up some sort of fortification on the side towards these orcs. Something where you could organize a defensive measure in case they should attack.
And at this point, you hear Morthal's pipe up. Morthal says, I could help with this. He says, I have experience in protecting towns in the past. I can help. And he nods. Sildar nods and says yes. And Darren as well. He's an old soldier of years past. Yes. I'll task the two of you to guard the town and keep it safe. Sildar then says, and finally we have the matter of our prisoners.
Yes.
Downstairs, we have...
We just burned them.
Downstairs, we have 12 men, all guilty of running with the Red Brand bandits. I've thought about what justice to mete out to them. And still I am torn.
My lord?
I am torn because the people of this town deserve their justice.
Yes.
The other part of me wants to send them off to have a trial. However, I think who better than to judge than the people of this town whom they have wronged.
Indeed, my lord.
Although I am unsure whether that will be fair. However,
My
all
lord.
of these, yes.
My lord, these people are known to be guilty. We've seen them. They have fought on the other side of the law. They made their choice to try and come here and take what they have, to take what we have, what we worked so hard over the many winters that we've been here. They made their choice. We know that they are guilty, and for that, they are traitors. There's only one way to deal with traitors, my lord. And then I kind of move back.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Yay!
Use the dice.
So, actually, yeah.
With advantage.
I'll give you advantage because he's on the cusp, like he's telling you he's not sure.
Yeah.
You spewed your words a little bit. It happens. So that's it.
It's the accent. It's the accent. It just takes
Yeah.
a second.
So
to
go ahead. Sorry, I'm saying you've got advantage, so you can roll another d20.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That's right. I forgot what advantage is. 15.
Yeah.
What's your charisma and persuasion? Your
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, so that's fine. Sildar pauses for a moment and looks around at all of you. He says, will this sit right with all of you? That we have the people decide the fate of the Red Brand.
Yes.
And he
Indeed,
looks
my
at it.
lord. I look over at Morthos. My lord, Morthos is a paladin of Tyr, god of justice, trials. He is a capable barrister of the law in Neverwinter, at least from what I know of him. There is no better judge than being judged by the light of Tyr, surely.
And he nods and says, yes. Morthos, are you willing to oversee proceedings? Morthos nods deeply. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Cool. Charge
Indeed.
them,
And-
charge them,
and-
charge
and he
them.
says- and he says, he says, well then, we will hold a trial for them tomorrow. We will spend the day making sure that the townsfolk are well informed, and we will prepare a jury.
As you wish, my lord. Shall be done.
Yeah. And Sildar says, Harvin, would you like to be among this jury? And Harvin looks so afraid at the thought of that, of showing his face to these bandits. However, he nods sheepishly and silently, repeatedly. He says, okay, I've spoken for a long time now. Is there any business that we need to discuss further?
One more thing, my lord. The effects which were taken from the late... I'll look down for a second. Iano Albrecht. Within his chambers, we acquired his infamous glass staff. I believe Avlok has it with him here. And various scrolls.
At this point, Sildar waves and says, look, any equipment that allows you to keep doing what you're doing, please take with you.
And the gold in the chests.
And the gems.
He looks at them and says, it is likely that this is all property of someone else that has been stolen or pilfered. Perhaps it comes from the Black Spider himself. Perhaps it was given freely. I do not know. What do you wish to do with this?
My lord,
If-
this can be used to...
If you're offering it, I will use it for the good of the town.
Yes, well, I believe it would be beneficial for the
Okay.
establishment of the militia.
He says, indeed, we can use it to trade with Lenine and purchase her goods and purchase her wares, and use it for the establishment of a, perhaps even in time, as we grow, we can repurpose a new building to accommodate this. And
Indeed. It is quite a hefty sum, my
And-
lord. It is something
we'll
around
put
the
it
sum
towards
of...
training.
Indeed,
Pardon?
it is quite a hefty sum, my lord. It is somewhere in the region of... I believe it was close to 200 silver pieces and 130 gold pieces, I believe, as well as a few gems.
He nods and says, indeed. We will have it put to good use. Thank you.
Excellent.
He just says, you know, most sellswords or mercenaries would have kept. It's common that, there are finder's fees such as these, but I appreciate your forthrightness. We will put this to good use for the town.
You have given us payment for services. These are stolen goods.
He nods. He says, nods, and he says, yes. Were you soldiers of my army, I would expect that. And he says, I admire what you have done for us. And he now says to all of you, he says, I believe the best course of action is to go after the Black Spider. Whatever means you need to do that, please do it. And
Shall be done, my lord.
he says, however, if you deem another course of action more crucial, or you find more evidence and you believe there are more threats that must be dealt with immediately, do as you see fit. You have my trust.
Give us great words of praise, my lord. I give you my thanks.
They are not without being earned.
We are humble servants of the Lord's Alliance.
He nods, sits back down in his chair, and says, "Well, I know that I will spend my morning writing letters to various folk and organising their delivery, safe delivery, back to Neverwinter, if this is at all possible."
We will leave you to your affairs, my lord. We will not take up any further much of your time. I bow deeply.
And he nods.
We shall make preparations for today and for the trial tomorrow. And as soon as the trial is over and we've given our testimonies, we shall leave for the expedition to rescue Gundra and Rockseeker.
Indeed.
Return quickly to see to this orc encampment. Are we all in agreement? And I look over to the rest of you guys.
Yes,
sir.
Seems to be prudent.
Excellent. My lord, I bow and leave.
Okay. So it's a new day in Phandalin. By now, you have seen the clearing of the fog occur, and it is a sunny day.
Okay.
There are a few patchy clouds, but the light shines down upon the town. You do see
Everyone. Yes, okay.
Yeah. No, I was just saying you do see people up and about talking. This town has really had some life breathed into it in the events of the last 48 hours.
Okay, you see me carrying a large sack of stuff, and I have like my red brand torn cloak. I still have that. Over it, kind of covering it, and I say in a hushed voice, "Everyone, follow me. We're going to the inn now." I was going. Folk, we're going. And I lead you hurriedly, and there's a spring to my step. I'm leading up, go inside the inn, go up to Upluck's room without his permission.
I groan.
This way. And, there's like some books and some scrolls, like some places, some reading materials. I just
we got these senses smells.
I move it and I throw it onto the bed and I
Careful with those. They're several centuries years old.
Be quiet. Just close the door, please. When everyone like shuffles in, you guys are looking at me like, what's going on? I pull out the table and I dump all the gold out onto the table and say, "Gentlemen, we have been paid."
So, you have been paid, and you have been paid, I believe, a total of 550 gold pieces.
Yes. And in front of everyone, I evenly split it between 5 people.
Do you split between Porrick?
No, I like no, sir. I haven't earned this. This is yours.
I put 5 pieces, and I had there's like a section, 5 sections, and I say, "Well, Porrick, you were not involved in the efforts of this. However, I believe this sum would be a very good starting point for your first payment. If you would accept the contract with me, my good sir, then I will hire you as a mercenary."
Thank you very much, sir. That is, you are very kind. Thank you.
Indeed. This payment should last for about half a season. You can expect further payments in the future. This is dangerous line of work, but you now serve as an agent of the Church of Wakin under my
You're fucked.
under my supervision.
There will be forms.
Yes,
There will be
absolutely.
forms
And I
and
do
there will-
bring out some parchments, and I do write out a clause, basically like a regular mercenary contract. Can you read it?
I kind of like look at it, and I'm just like,
Just put an X there.
it's quite embarrassing. I'm just like, sir, I don't quite So, sir, what does this say?
He doesn't read Tiber, read it to him.
I will read, of course. It is simply a contract getting your services to the Church of Wakin under the tutelage of myself, Siege Tiber Gracie. Here, it is simply a release form saying that the Church of Wakin has cannot take any responsibility for any possible death, injury, death by fire or by dragon. Or basically like that kind of thing. It's like The Hobbit. like in the Hobbit, like
Yeah.
something similar to that.
The contract.
Oh,
The contract, something like that. Okay, to the sum of $115
Oh, that's
pieces
so funny.
to be delivered in full, and for the services of half a season.
Okay, sir. Like, do you give me a pen to sign it with?
Yes, I will.
So,
Quill.
like, I sheepishly, like, sign my name. Like, it doesn't... I can kind of... I write my name, and that's about it. I can write off my name.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Very good. And I quickly scroll it up and I tuck it away
Okay.
and you don't see it.
Just as theme music for this scene, for the induction of a new member of your temple. Oh no, it didn't work.
That's okay.
It didn't work. But I will find the music
Where's this
I'm
noise
talking
coming
about.
from? I don't understand.
Magic.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't put this in my room.
It's clearly something that was knocked over, and
There's
accidental
clearly
enchantment
angels
has.
in this room.
Hmm.
Okay, and so now, in your inventory, just letting you know, obviously 550 divided by 5 is 110 gold pieces. So make sure you mark inventory with that. If you did these contracts, make sure you have, I assume you have a copy for each person, perhaps?
I'm only having
Is that
contact
right?
Only
with,
with
only with him. And with-
Oh yeah, you're leaving a contract with you. So you've got a signed contract. Put that in your inventory from one Porrick. So make sure that's in your inventory. We're wondering what else I need to think of.
Let's go
Yeah,
shopping!
If that's it and all that, once all the gold's been divvied out to everyone, I sort of look at Time and the rest. Well, was it good having you in my room, and we've all been paid, but get the hell out now. And I sort of try to hurry everyone. Yeah, and I swear Elvish, or just shoot. Get out! I need to clean everything.
Okay, yes.
And don't walk over the goddamn symbol again. Exactly. You want demons here, don't you? That's how we get demons.
I look at you, stranger, walk down the stairs, eyes are like, what do you mean?
Sorry,
What is this demon talk?
I just burped. Did you say that's how you get demons?
That's how you get
Yeah.
demons. That's how you get ants.
This is how you want demons? This is how you
You
get
get demons.
Okay.
That's better.
What do you individuals? What would you like to do?
I would like to find the poorest person in town,
Mm-hmm.
the poorest group of people, if they are under like one orphanage or whatever, if there's an
Okay.
orphanage around, and give them 10 gold.
Okay.
Oh, isn't
All
it?
right.
Jim?
I'll
That's awesome.
Yeah, cool. I'll have a look at my map and see whereabouts I can.
So, I'm happy to call it there for me, guys. Sorry, but like,
Yeah.
there's a place I want to go now, and I'll be back in a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I?
Yeah, no, I think
Step
that's a
back.
good point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm happy to do. I'm happy to let any shopping or any like setup anyone wants to do, or even just let me know later in the week
Yeah.
while
Yeah,
you're just
yeah.
like
I
so you've pretty much you've
Yeah.
set up.
Well, thanks
So we
very
can
much,
just
DM.
That was awesome. Thank you.